as to what show we're doing today.
I just did what you told me to do, so I still have no idea what show
We
we're
are
doing.
featuring the musical Rocky!
Rocky was a musical?
Briefly.
All right.
Actually, we're going to talk more about it later. But
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
you know, I don't think we'll see it done very frequently.
Probably
because it'd
not.
be really hard to pull
Probably
off
not.
for community theaters. But
That's true. That's
we'll
true.
talk about it a little
All
bit.
right. All right.
So we're featuring a lot of food from Pennsylvania/Philadelphia. So what are you going to do tonight? Oh, very nice tie-in.
I'm going to do a cream cheese.
You have me at cream cheese.
Cream cheese, chicken braid pot pie.
Ooh, chicken braid.
It's going to be
sounds
really
great. And I am doing a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, wait, you have to do
Yeah.
that. You have to do
And I did a little research, and there's a thing called a Tastykake, spelled Tasty, K-A-K-E, which is from Philadelphia, yellow cake, peanut butter, chocolate.
that. Ooh, that sounds good.
So we're going to have
So
nice
why is
variety.
it spelled K-A-K-E?
I don't know. It's a Philly thing.
Because it's a knockout.
Oh, 2K, not a KO, a K-E,
I'm with it now,
K-K-K-E.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right. Exactly.
Just choose your vowel.
All
But
right.
I want to jump in.
All right, jump in.
Because with the Philly cheesesteak, you want to slice your meat really thin.
Thin.
And the trick is you want to get your ribeye. They suggested ribeye. You don't have to, but that's what the research says. You know how they are in Philly.
Yes.
Follow
yes.
the rules.
Follow the rules, yes.
So you freeze your meat for about 20-30 minutes. You don't want it solid frozen, but you want
Okay.
it pretty firm. And this really allows you to get rid of all of that fat very easily because it starts to really firm up. You can cut it out. This is you want it very
nice.
lean,
Yes.
and you can get rid of all your fat.
It's a good looking steak.
It is. You know, I don't buy steak very often, and then I was reminded steak's expensive. So this is like a special occasion food,
Yeah.
I think. Not inexpensive, but you know, you can feed probably 4 or 5 people with 2 steaks because you're going to slice it really thin and you're going to add peppers and onions. So you can get a lot of mileage out of your steak.
That's great.
Yeah. So once you got your fat kind of cut off, set off to the side, you want to cut it against the grain.
And why do we cut it against the grain?
I don't know.
Because it makes it more tender.
More tender, that's right.
That's why.
That's right.
Mhm.
Takes a village.
It does.
I'm going to slice it very thin against the grain. Got a little fat right there we're going to get rid of. And I've already sliced quite a bit, but I wanted to show this technique. You can
That's
see
great.
how easily it works. So I'm guessing from our opening that you haven't seen the musical Rocky.
I have not seen the musical Rocky. Have you seen the musical Rocky?
I'm not. I would love to know if any of our viewers.
I know Julie Ewing has seen it because she told me about it.
Ooh.
And she said at the end, you leave your seat and you go on stage for the boxing match.
Yes. So some of the audience does that.
I guess she was in those seats.
She was in those seats. That would be pretty cool. The set sounded pretty fantastic where the boxing ring came out into part of the audience. And so those people who had to give up their seats got to go up on stage and were in the boxing arena.
And what's the hit song from that show?
The
What's
hit
the
song
memorable
from
song?
the movie?
No, not from the movie, from the Broadway musical.
Well, that's a really good question. The song I played for our opening, Eye of the Tiger, they clearly paid for the rights.
Oh, yeah.
And put that in the show. And they kind of sample Gonna Fly Now, which of course most people know from the movie. There are some lovely songs. I don't know if it came away with like a hit song.
Did it win any awards?
That is a great question. It did. It was up for 4 Tonys.
Wait a second.
It did? Well, wait. You know, it did. It was up for 4 Tonys.
For 4?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was up for actor Andy Carl, who you've probably heard of.
Uh-huh.
He was in Groundhog Day.
Yes.
He was in Pretty Women.
Yes.
He played Rocky.
Rocky.
He was up. He didn't win. It was up for best choreography, best lighting, and best scene design, and it won scene design probably because of that boxing ring that had to come out into the audience. So pretty interesting.
It'll go down in history as one of the best musicals ever.
Just take a quick guess how much the budget was for that show.
Oh, it must have been millions of dollars.
$20 million, and most of it I think was at set.
And who thought that was a good idea?
Well, you know, interestingly, it played in London. I think it did okay, but it only played for 188 performances. which is unfortunate. And we'll talk a little bit more about that.
That's a lot of money. Okay,
That's a
let's
lot
back
of
to your.
money. Okay, so there's how you get your beef ready, okay?
Our
Which
beef is ready.
Our beef is ready. But now I want to jump to dessert. Because the cake, while not really difficult, has 3 steps.
Okay.
It's the cake, it's the peanut butter, it's the chocolate. So I want to start with the cake and get that going. So, you know what kills a show?
Lots of things.
Too much exposition.
Yes.
And you know what kills our show?
What?
Whipping egg whites and sugar for too long
I
with a
agree.
mixer.
I
So
agree.
guess what? I have already done that.
Oh, thank you.
This is a cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and a little vanilla that's been whipped.
Nice. It smells good.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add. Hello,
The
goodbye.
hidden flour.
I'm going to add my flour, which has a little bit of baking powder in it. And would you pop that in the microwave
I will.
for about a minute and a
Oh,
half?
you know I don't know how to use your microwave, but I'll put
Don't have a pilot's license yet.
I don't.
Okay, well, hit microwave
Okay.
and go from there. We're going to see. And then use the hand. I'll go back up. Cook by time. You know what?
Let me tell you about another show from Pennsylvania, and that's Sister Act.
Oh, Sister Act.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
you
we
talk
good now?
about that.
Oh.
Oh, push start.
Start. See. So Sister Act, as you know, was set in California for the movie. I don't know why I'm holding this. And then they moved the musical to Pennsylvania. So it's all set. I don't know why. I think it's just for fun. Maybe I don't know why.
Hey, you know what would be fun? Let's set it in Pennsylvania.
They needed more shows for Pennsylvania for people that were going to be doing cooking shows later on about the theme of Pennsylvania.
That's right.
But there's so many shows that have a Pennsylvania tie-in to them. Did you know that?
I didn't. I know one that I just love. I think we've talked
did you
about it.
stop?
Well, I'm waiting for that milk.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was loud. And we could throw the milk in with this.
I thought you couldn't talk
There's
and
a
whip at the
little
same time.
show called 1776.
Oh, I'm going back to the microwave.
It's hot as hell in Philadelphia.
Oh.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say about
All
it.
right,
Back.
moving
What's
on.
another show?
Hamilton.
Oh,
Hamilton.
yes.
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 Now there are a few plays too. Can you name a play that has something to do with Pennsylvania?
You know, I did some research, but it's gone out of my head.
August Wilson is a clue.
Oh, yes. Well, most of his are set, right? In Philly.
What's the big one?
Is it 2 Trains Running? No. Piano Lesson? No. A Big Box. Fences?
Fences.
Okay.
Cooking complete.
How about the one they just did the movie of? Ma Rainey's Black Box?
Yes, I'm not sure if that's in Pennsylvania or not.
Okay, this is a cup of milk with a tablespoon of margarine. Classy cake. Margarine, not butter, in here.
Margarine.
We're just going to add that and mix it up.
We're whipping again, mixing and whipping.
Whipping again! Oh,
Oh,
thank you, sous chef. There we go. Good looking batter.
lovely.
Yeah, and that's the cake. It's pretty easy.
It's a little runny.
It is a little runny.
Tastykake.
Tastykake.
I heard somewhere that it has another name too.
Oh yes, what was that?
Tandykake.
Tandy, named after Jessica. No, I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
I don't know why. You're right. Tastykake or Tandy cake, and I guess
But
that's
Tandykake is spelled with a C and not a K.
Yes.
So it's Tastykake cake or Tandy C cake.
Yes.
That's way more than you ever wanted to know. But
That's a
we'll
lot
move
of
on.
letters. Okay, so here's this, and I'm going to pop these in the sink,
Okay.
and then this is going. This is a little
Where is
thin.
this going?
This is going in the oven.
Oh, okay.
I've got my
I'm gonna move your mixer.
got my pan here, and you want to grease and flour it.
Grease and flour. That's very important.
And then we're going to put in our batter. And it's going to go into the oven for about 20 minutes, but check it after about 15. And if it's done, pull it out.
Is that what we're serving it in?
Yes. There we go.
Lovely.
Okay. And I'm going to keep an eye on that. Okay. So, the next thing, when the cake comes out, you have to cool it completely. And then you're going to take about 3/4 a cup of peanut butter, I popped the peanut butter in the microwave for just 30 seconds. I got it smooth. Smear it all over your cake.
Wow.
So the yellow
tasty.
cake's underneath, and then tasty it is.
Tasty.
And tandy.
It's a tasty tandy cake.
And then you put this in the refrigerator and you will let that peanut butter firm up. And while that's going on, and it needs to be a couple hours. So when it's ready, then you're gonna melt your chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna get that started.
Okay. So you're gonna do that, and do you want me to start my dish? while
Yeah,
you're
so
doing that?
I'm just putting in, they said to use just like a Hershey's chocolate bar.
Hershey's.
Milk chocolate is what my recipe called for.
Only
And
the
just-
finest
Yep.
chocolate.
And a couple of tablespoons.
And
Also from
did you-
Pennsylvania.
There, I was just gonna
That's
say.
probably
that.
why you use the Hershey's.
Yes.
Genius.
Yes.
With a little bit of butter so it gets a little shiny. That's going in my double boil.
Sometimes we learn as we do this show. as
Sometimes
well.
we do, and sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we don't. All right. Are you doing that? Am I moving
You
on
are
now?
ready to
All
go. I'm going to
right.
stir this.
So we are making a crescent. We're using crescent roll, and we're going to make a chicken crescent roll pot pie, which is really good. What's nice about this recipe is that you can use it for an appetizer or you can use it for a main course, and we'll show you when it's completed. The most important thing about this is that you get the crescent dough that is seamless. You see it's not cut out into the crescent rolls. That would not be good. And I didn't even know that there was seamless.
I didn't either. I always thought you just sort of had to roll it and pinch it.
No, you can get seamless.
Well, my world is
Okay,
rocked.
I know, it's great.
In a good way.
All right, so we're going to start with our Philadelphia cream cheese.
Yay!
We need 4 ounces of that. So that's in there. It's softened, and we're going to put in ½ cup of chicken soup, condensed chicken soup. So we put that in there, and we're going to mix this together before we move forward. Get that all mixed up together before we put our goodies in, because we don't want to break up the other things that we're going to put inside of it. So that's going in there just like that.
Cream of chicken soup.
Yeah, you can use a mixer on this if you want to, but why waste the time? And why have to clean up? And Barb's already used it, so we can't use
That's
it today.
right. It's got cake batter on it,
Yeah, it's
so
got cake
forget
batter.
that.
So we're just gonna,
That looks good.
yeah,
I like the idea of it as an appetizer.
yeah. The only thing about using it as an appetizer is it's gonna make a lot, which you'll see. But it's a quick,
Big party.
yeah, it's a quick, easy thing for dinner. You put a salad with it, and you've got your whole meal, which is really great. And the
I
nice
think
thing
it's
about
easy.
this is
Yeah.
you don't have to, if you're doing pot pies, you don't have to do individual things. You just do one big thing and cut it off and give it to everybody. All right, that's about as good as I'm going to get it for today.
Okay.
We're going to put in a cup of peas and carrots. These are just frozen peas and carrots. So we're going to throw those in.
Like you and me, we go together like peas and carrots.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put in ½ a cup of cheese, cheddar cheese. I use half sharp and half mild, just so we get that different taste to it.
So medium.
Yeah. And then we're going to put in a cup of chicken. And I just went and bought a rotisserie chicken and pulled one breast off, and there you go.
Oh yeah. Those rotisserie chickens.
Yeah, and it's already seasoned and
So
everything,
easy.
so you don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to add about ¼ cup of scallions, because I like the crunch of an onion in there.
And the color's nice.
The color's
too.
nice,
Of course, it kind
yes.
of goes with the peas, but
It does.
it's a little bit vibrant shade of green.
So we just mix this all together. I'm going to let you mix this together while
Okay.
I work on the seamless crescent.
It's a seamless recipe,
Yes.
Kevin.
So-
I just want to use that word as many times as I can.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the sides so I can braid this. So I'm going to use a pizza cutter to cut the sides in. I want to leave about 3 inches in the center to put the filling in. So I'm just going to quickly just do little cuts in there. And
Well,
this,
as they call it in England, a plait.
okay, a Ben Platt.
Close.
Okay.
I think it's P-L-A-I-T. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
Does
this is
Ben
looking
have
good.
any ties to Pennsylvania that we know of?
Where's Dear Evan Hansen's set? I'm thinking not.
I'm not sure.
How about me? What's the Pitch Perfect? No.
Meet me in St. Louis.
I'm sure he likes Philadelphia.
I'm sure
if
he
we
does.
asked him.
Can you think of another play
Oh my.
from Pennsylvania?
No.
This one has a lot of names in the title.
Oh, is it Sonia and Masha and Vanya and Spike.
You got them all right.
Well,
I would have never
love me some Christopher Durang.
I would have never gotten all those.
I think that show is terrific. Have you seen a production of it?
I have not.
I've seen it a couple of times, and it is really clever and sweet, and like Christopher Durang, a little bizarro, but with great heart. I just think he's so good at that. That's a good show. I like that one. Good choice.
Okay,
well done.
I'm telling you, I've done my research.
Spoon.
That's right, I'll use this. So we're filling the pastry right now with our mixture, with our chicken mixture. And you see how I'm putting it right on the part that I didn't cut?
Yes, right down the middle.
Yeah, and I'm kind of conservative with my chicken when I first put it on there because I want to make sure we have enough to go all the way down the
You can
the
fill
pastry,
in later.
and I'm going to fill in later, exactly. So I don't want to go all the way to the end because we don't want it to seep out of the end. So I've saved about a quarter of an inch
Never seepage.
on either end, and then I'm just going to fill in here.
Okay.
So we get all the, because we want the filling in there. It doesn't seem like a lot of filling, but it's going to go a long way, trust me.
Well, especially when you're just putting it right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle.
It's really good.
All right, one last spoonful, I believe. That's going to get us in right here. All right, and then I'm going to push it down just a little bit.
It's a technical cooking term.
Technically,
Smush it.
Yes. Smush it down
Smushy,
here.
smushy.
All right, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Notice I didn't use any salt and pepper. You can if you want to.
Actually, I was just about to say, what about the seasoning?
The reason I didn't is because the rotisserie chicken's already got it done for us.
They're usually pretty well flavored. That's true.
So we're just going to
I don't know what you do this. Oh.
go back and forth with our two sides here. You want to try to make sure that it's completely enclosed. It doesn't have to be, but
back to the seepage.
Yeah, you don't want it to seep out.
No seepage. Well, while you keep doing that, I was in okay, so we know that Rocky had a huge budget. The music was by Flaherty and Ahearns.
Oh.
Who are pretty famous.
They are.
Can you name some other shows?
They did Ragtime, and they did Anastasia, I believe.
They did. They did
I've heard a
Seussical.
lot of Anastasia recently.
Oh,
Lots of
you have.
Anastasia.
And they did Once on This Island.
They did.
And a show you don't see very often that I really enjoy is My Favorite Year. They did the music, and the book was Thomas Meehan with Sylvester Stallone, who of course did the movie. So the interesting thing I saw with a lot of the reviews was that they actually reenact the fight at the end of the show. They kind of speed up, you know, the 15 rounds. But as we said, this ring comes out into the audience, and you can watch a little of it on YouTube. Okay.
You didn't hear that.
They are hitting each other. I can't figure out. No wonder it was up for best choreography, because to choreograph that and look like you're landing blows is pretty phenomenal. And all the reviews I saw just kind of said, you know, that ending was so spectacular that the rest of the show just sort of paled in comparison. It just couldn't quite keep up with it.
That's better than the opening number being the big number, and then the rest of the show pales.
Yeah.
At least the end of it.
There are some really lovely songs, but like I said, it would be very hard for people to do that.
All right.
Looky there.
I'm going to close up the ends.
It in?
Yes, so it doesn't seep out.
It in.
On both sides. I'll show you one. I've got one more chance to show you here. We'll just tie.
That is so pretty.
Yeah, isn't that pretty? Okay, so you can see there's a few little openings here, but that's fine. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take.
Okay. What a nice kitchen tool you have.
It is. So we're going to take an egg wash. This is one egg with a little water in it. And we're going to brush the entire pastry with it. Try not to get it too wet because it's kind of a wet dough anyway.
Okay.
So we're going to brush it. And the reason we brush it is to get it nice and brown in the oven.
Kind of makes it shiny
yeah.
too.
And this doesn't take very long to cook. It's about 20 to 25 minutes at 375. And it'll come out nice and beautiful.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
That's impressive looking and pretty simple.
I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, but it looks really
especially
good.
if you use the rotisserie chicken. And it's stuff that you probably would have in your refrigerator anyway. And you
I could see it being a leftover kind of thing. If you had some extra veggies, toss them in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could put anything inside of it, really.
Right.
It's that cream cheese that holds it all together.
So you want your cream cheese and probably the soup or some kind of binding, and then you maybe kind of free for all.
Yep, you could put in some broccoli if you wanted to with the chicken or whatever you want to do.
That looks great.
Yeah, and look, it'll serve a lot of people, I think.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're using it as an appetizer.
A loaf.
Yeah.
Well done.
And there it is. And it's ready to go in the oven at 375.
Okay.
And I'll show you what it looks like at the end. I'm going to put it over here.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, we're going to hop in here. I have my oil getting hot over here for the Philly cheesesteaks. And so what I've done is there's a lot of, there's my yes. Oh, that's about, I'm going to turn that off. There's the chocolate for that cake, and I'm going to let it cool just a bit.
So the chocolate goes on the meat?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a full serving for everybody. Nope, that butter just needs to melt a little bit. We'll let it cool, and I'll show you that. So here's my skillet with my oil. There's a lot of discussion about what's a true Philly. True Philly seems to be onions and meat and cheese. But a lot of people like peppers and onions and meat and cheese, and some people like peppers and onions and mushrooms. I'm doing the peppers and the onions because I like the color and I like peppers. But you know that you have that range in there. So all of this is going in. It's 1 onion, and then I did about 1/3 of a yellow, 1/3 of a red, and 1/3 of a green pepper in there.
And that goes in before the meat.
Yes, you're gonna cook this down and we're gonna let that just cook for a while. And while that's going on, I've got my chocolate here, and that butter's melted now. There we go. And this was the cake, and the peanut butter's cold. And so what you're gonna do is spread your chocolate on top of the cake.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Do you put the cake into the refrigerator so the peanut butter firms up a little bit?
Yes,
so it
I
doesn't
put it
run?
in for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Which is
so
what
that
they
keeps
recommend. Because
the layers
if you
from
don't,
mixing.
yeah, it's all gonna mush together. And so you want to work fairly quickly here, because then you're gonna put your cake back in so that your chocolate firms up, and when you cut it, everything, you'll have those nice layers.
It's really good.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cake.
That's what I was
I'd
gonna
never
say.
heard of it before, but I have to think that kids would
Oh, yeah.
love this cake.
So is this a Reese's peanut butter cake with a K or a C?
Oh boy. It's Reese's with a C, not an S. I don't know. It's optional spelling. I'm gonna leave
Is it
at
Liza
that.
with a Z?
Yeah. There we go. Just a little bit more here.
You had the perfect amount.
I know.
And that's just a Hershey
Considering
chocolate
how
bar.
many of those Hershey bars I ate myself. I'm
Yes, just
lucky.
a Hershey chocolate bar.
Mm.
Look how shiny it is.
Isn't that pretty? That's gonna
just
go.
the chocolate melted.
That's just the chocolate.
Nothing added to it.
A little bit of butter.
Okay.
A little bit of butter gives it that shine. Can you pop that in the fridge for me?
I can.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to come back to our peppers. Smells so good. Gonna let these cook for, probably 3 to 4 minutes. Let it cook down.
Do you know anything about the Philly cheesesteak and why Philadelphia is the home of Philly cheesesteaks?
Well, I should. I don't. I assume that's where it originated. Somebody thought of it. I know a lot of times you see it on a big flat grill and they're chopping it.
Yes.
Usually things are cut pretty fine, cooked down pretty well. So you can see mine's probably a little chunky for true Philly.
Oh,
But
I
that's
don't have a
okay.
problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that either. The other thing that people discuss is whether you use white American cheese or provolone cheese. I'm a provolone guy, so I have provolone slices, but you could use white American, but I think we agree it's supposed to be a pale cheese.
Yes.
Pale cheese, yeah. So I've got the provolone there. The other thing are some good hoagie rolls.
Hoagie.
Hoagies. So I've got the hoagies here, and they're buttered because I'm going to grill them when we're ready. Okay. I am going to these off. Ready to cook the steak. Add a little more oil. And I've got that steak that's finely cut. Let's go. Mmm. Mmm.
How long is your steak going to cook?
Just about 3 to 4 minutes.
So while you're cooking the steak, we're going to come back over and I'm going to show you the finished chicken braid. Isn't that beautiful? See how brown it gets? So nice. So I'm going to cut a little piece off here so we can see what it looks like here in the center. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Nice color.
Kevin, that's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Hello, gorgeous.
Yeah. You want to taste it while we're waiting?
Yeah, let's. My steak is still.
Of course.
And you could cut it into little pie slices for appetizer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that looks great.
Get your plate.
Okay.
Here you go.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
See if you can taste all the ingredients.
Mm. 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 Got a little pea in there.
Mm-hmm. I dropped mine.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I think it's seasoned perfectly.
Oh yeah. No,
So
I wouldn't
good.
want any more salt.
Mm-mm.
Mm. Yeah, you're right. A little
It's
green
very
salad, you're good to go.
Yeah, very good.
Well done.
Very good.
Okay, back to the steak.
I would have one more bite. Or that's pretty good. That's really good.
So do you have any other shows set in Philly?
Well, not set in Philly, but one that's kind of near and dear to my heart right now.
Is there something, there was somebody, an author's from that
There
area?
is. There's a book writer that took a old show and rewrote the book for a new Broadway production.
Oh, what
what
show
kind-
might that be?
It would be Cinderella.
Do you
Cinderella.
have any connection with that?
I do. Actually going to do it at Theater in the Park this summer. So if you'd like to see the new book, come out this summer to Theater in the Park.
Can you tell me a little bit about how it differs?
Well, there's a subplot in it that's not in the original musical, but it comes from the book. So that's a little bit different. The prince is also an orphan. So like Cinderella, they're both orphans, so there's no king and queen, so you don't have to cast a king and a queen. So that's different. Some of the music is a little bit different. There's a lot of magic in it, which of course is always
Is there
interesting.
still In My Own Little Corner?
Yes,
Oh,
there's still, and there's also a reprise of In My Own Little Corner, which is a lot of fun. A lot of dancing in this one. If you've seen the Netflix movie Bridgerton, it's kind of like a cross
Are
between...
you doing it like Bridget? Now I'm interested.
We are not doing it like
Is
Bridgerton.
the prince gonna have a shirt on?
Yes, the prince will have a shirt on.
I'm going back to my beefsteak.
Yes, but there's a lot of
Speaking
dancing.
of beefsteak, ha ha!
Yes, when you think about the Disney Cinderella, there's one big ball. In the musical, there are 3 balls, so you really get your money's worth on balls. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's July 2nd through the 10th at the park. So
Excellent.
we're not doing a show on the 4th of July, so don't come on the 4th of July. Go somewhere else. But yeah. Oh, look, it's coming together.
It's coming
I see
together.
it. Very pretty. Very
Mine
pretty.
probably should be diced a little more,
I
but
like
for the for our timing, can you give this a stir for me?
Yes, I'll have to put my chicken down though.
Okay, put your chicken down. I'm going to quickly toast my bun so I can show everybody what it's supposed to look like.
The key is to only cook your vegetables long enough that they are soft. You don't want them to lose their colors because you've got this very bright yellow and the
Yes.
green and the red.
Yeah.
So don't let that happen.
No, you want to keep the colors and you don't want to overcook your meat.
No. You just want the red to go away. Just a
And
hint
I
of
think
that.
what I'm going to do is get out here,
This is really nice.
a little skillet.
Now in Philly sometimes they shave the beef so you get long.
Yeah,
flat.
and you could
Yeah.
go thinner, I think.
Yeah, but this is a nice replication.
I'm going to turn that
Okay.
off now. And the other thing I added, Kevin was doing his chicken, but I wanted you to know I threw in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Which just gives it a little
A
oomph.
little pop.
Yeah, a little pop.
We want to make one of these up real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my hoagie, which is toasting.
The hoagie, they're everywhere. The other thing is when you serve this, you see there's a lot of juice here. You don't want to use that.
No, you don't. So
If
I'm
you
gonna
want-
put the hoagie in here so it continues to toast a little. I'm gonna get my slotted
Okay.
spoon. Gonna drain that.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Yep, I'm gonna put that over here. We're gonna top it
With cheese.
with cheese, my provolone cheese. There we go. I'm gonna do this long ways. Okay, and we're gonna let that melt for about a minute, and then we'll be ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
So while we're finishing up here, let's tell them what we're doing next time.
Ooh,
Next time we have Mother's Day right around the corner.
that's right.
We'll have an episode right before Mother's Day, and we're going to show you lots of things that you can make to celebrate your mother.
That'll
So,
be wonderful.
Yeah,
Do you have some ideas?
I do have some ideas.
You gonna give me a clue?
I'm doing something with strawberries, so that'll be really cool.
Yes.
And then another little surprise that I think will be fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And we want to give a little teaser because in a couple of episodes we're going to have a special guest.
Yes, very
So
special.
you're going to want to tune in. We're going to have another sous chef in the house with us, and I think
Yes.
everybody's going to have a great time seeing that. Okay, that is
All right.
just starting to melt,
Good, good,
but
good.
I think it's good enough. I know we're getting close on time, so I'm going to
Beautiful.
pull this out.
You've got a plate?
I'm gonna share this.
Oh,
right
put it on the big plate.
There we go.
Look at
Okay,
that.
let's get a good knife. Cut out a couple of hunks for us.
All
to
right.
try.
And I'll get the cake.
Oh, thank you. That chocolate is probably getting firm. Take a few bites of this.
I'll use my...
Ooh, there we go. Want to try a bite here?
Yes, I'm just going to cut a little corner
Oh,
off of it.
perfect. Okay, I'm gonna try this.
I'm going to try this.
Okay.
I still have chicken, so you go with that.
Oh, all right, all right. Hey, guess what? Someone let the dogs out.
It's just like a racist cup.
Was it?
Yeah, you can spell it with an S to C or K. I don't care. It's so good.
This is so good. With the meat and the onions and the peppers and the cheese.
So nice. Well, we took our little trip to Philadelphia today, didn't we?
And it wasn't hot as hell.
No, it wasn't. Thank goodness.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
We're going to finish this up real quick, and we'll see you next time on Sing for Your Supper.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.